So hygiene, usually I start by taking a deep breath, and in some videos I forget. So in this one, let me make sure I do it, and you guys do it. Yeah. So now I want to talk about love, right? And I want to talk about it in all contexts: relationship, friendship, whatever, strangers, like just love and loving people, and just us loving each other, right? And I think to a certain degree I'm still imperfect in this area because I hate animals, right? So I don't think if I was really like perfect in love, I would be hating animals, because love is perfect and drives out all fear, right? So now, what is love, right? It's something that I cannot define. If you think you have a good definition of what love is, put it in the comment section, right? But I feel like for me, love is, if you think about it, when two people are in a relationship, when they are dating, whatnot, they tell each other, I love you, then jiggy 2 minutes later the relationship is over, 3 years later it's over, and like, okay, what happened? And in some cases there's now even animosity between the two, right? You're like, okay, what happened? Was that love? Was that, like, what was it if not love? Because they did say they love each other, but then that proved otherwise, because they did not get to where they thought that love was going to get them. So what happened? Was that love? Maybe one cheated and the other's like, nope, we cannot, this is a deal breaker. Now the question is that love? Now what is love again, I ask? And then there's this song, Double HP, I think it's Pretty Ugly featuring Double HP, where he Double HP says, never F with love, Kilifoko, right? So I gravitated a lot towards that, meaning that, like, never F with love is just like, wait, something like that. And it's tricky because I was like, for him to even say that is because maybe he got to a point where it was difficult, really difficult for him to put a pin on the word love, because it's really complicated. It's it's okay, maybe misunderstood, I don't know, but complicated, complex, whatever it is, it's not as straightforward as we think, because those that say they love each other, sometimes they kill each other, and we call it a passion of crime. It's a lot, right? And now there's family, which I think that if done right, the best example or the best definition, practical definition of love, then is family, right? For me, example, I have stressed my family quite a lot of times. I've done things like, I have done stressful things towards my family, right? And the same treatment I get now is the treatment that I get now is the same treatment that I got before I started stressing them. Nothing else. In fact, if anything, it has increased. I feel like I am loved more, I'm appreciated more, and stuff like that. And when I say I'm loved more, again, if we look deeper into that, I don't really understand what maybe I'm trying to say I am received more. I don't know, but something like that. Now, what is love? As I'm talking about it, I hope you guys are really trying to put on a definition of what this is, right? So family is when done right, because there are a lot of dysfunctional families, right? And stuff like that. So when done right, family is the most practical example of love, because whatever that you do, they never turn their back on you. You can go to prison now, your wife or your girlfriend is gone. She's gonna see other people or whatever, but your family is the one that's gonna come see you, that's gonna come make sure that, in South Africa, that you in prison, there's currencies, there's money, there's cigarettes, there's drugs. Your family is the one that's gonna make sure that they bring maybe cigarettes in that prison cell, so that you don't get harassed by other inmates and stuff like that. Your family is the one that's gonna go out of their way to make sure that you're unharmed, you're good, regardless of what you have done. And we also, I think, have to get out of this idea out of our minds that love is this love is equal to discipline. love is equal to discipline. Love is not this soft yes thing where every time you ask a question it's a yes, every time you ask for something it's a yes. No, love in its entirety has discipline. That's why it's quite difficult to define it, because to a certain degree love is equal to discipline, and in other cases love is equal to other things, right? In other cases love is equal to no. When you can't say no to people, then you lack, or you have your implementation of self-love then lacks something. Self-love on its own has limits. It has boundaries, right? It's not this love is boundless, but it has limits. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if you love your kids, then you know that you need to say no to them sometimes. Sometimes you just say no for the sake of it, just so they get to understand that no is an answer, and whenever someone says no, you don't have to throw a tantrum, because love is no is as good an answer as yes. There is literally no difference, just that yes excites you because you get what you want, right? It makes you happy, but also no is a good answer, just as a yes is. No doesn't show hate or dislike or something like that. It in a lot of cases it implements discipline, right? When you say no to yourself, when you on a diet and you get tempted to buying that burger or pizza or whatever, and you say no to yourself, that is discipline, right? You enforcing discipline, and what you're gonna see is that once you get over that hurdle, you're gonna be grateful to yourself that, oh, thank God I didn't do that, right? Because love, no on its own can be a sign of discipline, and discipline is equal to love. Don't forget this, discipline is equal to love. There is no ill-disciplined person who is full of love. No one. And sometimes we often say, I'm a lover because, I love too much. That is not love. You can't say because you love too much, therefore that is love. No. Then it takes us back to the question that I asked in the beginning. What is love? Giving yourself too much is not love. Giving yourself the right way, that can be a practical example of love. I wouldn't go as far as saying that is love. So it's like love takes different shapes depending on the context. Love sometimes can bypass context. Like it's really, I think to a certain extent, I think love is, that is why even the Bible just says God is love. How else are you gonna define love? How else are you gonna define love? Sometimes love is a doing word, a verb, right? Sometimes, not all the time. So love takes different shapes, forms, and whatever, and it really depends on the context. So when you are in a relationship, and let me hold that thought for a while. In South Africa, I don't know if this is true for other nations, but in South Africa there's this pandemic, if I may call it that, where people want to date or want to be in toxic relationships, and they call it love. I'm in this toxic relationship, but I love that guy. No. You are addicted to toxicity. And by toxicity, I mean the chemical releases that you experience when all of those beatings take place. You are addicted to those releases. Maybe because of trauma, maybe because you identify, maybe something happened to you when you were a kid, and then that toxicity or that abuse remind you of that. And because you don't invest in your mind, you don't invest in yourself, you're not aware of the connection between that past traumatic event and what is happening to you currently, and you interpret, because it's going to form an attachment, because that's your mind telling you to resolve that past issue, right? So it manifests as a form of attachment. So you are attached to this person, and you are like, okay, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? This is love. That's not love. That's toxicity. It's mind-blowing that there are people who just addicted to toxicity. If you right now in South Africa, that's all that is happening. Toxicity. If you find sometimes a guy who's a good guy, like girls don't want that person because they're saying it's a good guy. And now that good guy, we cannot even go to an extent of saying he's a lover. No, because being too good is also toxic. Being too good is a sign of it's a discipline, which is not love. Because if you are too good, you give more of yourself than you should. So you experience exhaustion and you feel like, I'm giving too much of myself and I'm receiving nothing. So it becomes a pain to you. That shows you that that's not love. That's a discipline, and it's gonna cost you the so-called lover. Right? So think about this. See how you can best apply it in your life. Interrogate your life. Think about, how you can really bring yourself to a point of love and discipline, to a point of love and trust. And in some other cases, love is trust. Love is trust. When, for me, example, where I'm at now, the person I love is the person I trust. If I can't trust you, then it means the issue of love is being good to you is a fruit of love. That's not love. But trust is another story, which we'll get into some other time. For now, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, comment, and give me your definitions of love. Just, show some love. So I don't know what it is, but yeah.